Thanks everybody for being here. For those of you that were here last week, a huge shout out to everybody that participated and came in the social committee and the leadership group here that helped put that together, because last week was fantastic. So for those of you that were here, I don't know if anybody would like to share for those that missed out on what they missed, please feel free, and that can be our bucket fills for the morning. Who would like to share? Scott, I know you're dying to share.
It was a phenomenal week. It really was. It just got the momentum built throughout the week. And I missed Friday, which was like celebration. But I learned so much about this. I'm not going to call it an organization, this family, and how unique it is, how special, and how privileged I am to be a part of you guys, part of this. So it was a great week.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty cool. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah. You know, I shared with you and I shared with Nikki too. You know, I'm pretty new to here and I'm definitely new in the business. And I feel so connected now, like just exactly what Scott said. Like, I'm so proud to be part of this family and just celebrating the wins and and it just made me feel so connected, so, and Friday was awesome too.
Yeah,
I hate
Friday
that I missed this. I know you weren't doing it.
I knew I brought it in too much. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was the
I
best
was like, where's
potluck
Scott?
I've been to in a long time.
It was
The
so
food-
fun.
It was so
The
fun.
Easter bunny was
Dancing,
everything
was.
The food was amazing.
Yeah.
beach was amazing.
Yeah. I feel like that
That was
was,
just great fellowship.
yeah, that was for a lot of people. I know Jason had mentioned there were people here that he has not seen in 2 or 3 years. So I think that was really special
Yeah.
for he and Nikki just, being a part of this office. And I feel like it was, for me, the first time I've seen that many people in this building together, and it was all about love and hugs and so appreciative and grateful to see each other. So that was just, it was a good week, and it couldn't have ended on a better event, in my opinion. So I want to thank everybody for doing that. It was fantastic. Joy James. Come on up.
Yes, last week I will kind of piggyback on that. So much fun. It was so much fun seeing everyone and like everything from Jason from the beginning of the week to the leadership staff and all their little fun facts. I mean, who knew Alicia? If you missed the fun fact about Alicia, they've got to replay that at some point because that was so good. But anyway, I'm not going to spoil that, but it was amazing. But it was a lot of fun. I am just gonna, I put one of these on all the tables, and you should have gotten an invitation to this yesterday in your email, and I also put it on the Facebook page. But tomorrow, I know you guys are having your tech, and everyone's coming in sure the tech thing from 11 to 1. But at 1 o'clock, Freddie Mac is having a webinar, and we got invited, so we're just passing the invitation along to you guys. It should be pretty informative. I know you guys asking, what are the rates? What are the rates? What are they doing? What's going to happen this year? We'll tune in and I think Freddie Mac will give you some insight on that. It should be some good information. It's an economist on here. So if you want to tune in, just register. There's a QR code on here. You have to register to get.
And there's no fee, correct?
There's no fee. No. So anyway, we wanted to pass that along to you guys.
We're showing it here.
No, it's all on your own. So just get on your laptop. If you're coming to the tech class, you'll be on your laptop. So anyway, I wanted to invite you to that. And the rates have gone up a little bit over the past couple of weeks. So if you had someone pre-approved at the beginning of the year, or you have someone that's buying a new construction home, I would have those people talk to their lender, hopefully me, because things have changed. They need to be really thinking about, have they locked in if it's new construction? Is that going to affect their pre-approval? So it's just a good time to talk to your sphere, touch base with them on that. Because if they were pre-approved in January or February when the rates kind of went down a little bit, that could change the things, okay? Change the payments and the pre-approval. So anyway.
Do y'all still, or was that you that had that early lock?
Lock and shop.
Yeah.
We can do lock and shop. That means if they're looking for a property, they don't have to have a property yet. We can lock and shop for them, but it's only locked for 30 days. So the only thing with that, I mean, right now with the inventory, it might be hard for them to find something within 30 days, but we do have it. So, if you have somebody and they're making an offer, it might be good to do it. And then it'll expire and just start over in 30 days. But yes, we do have that product. So, and we have long-term locks for like new construction too. So they can lock up to a
What's the
year.
timeframe for that?
They can lock up to a year. Now, the longer period of time they lock in for, the higher it will be. But again, those are just conversations that they need to be having.
Is there a float down or anything like that?
There is a float down. There's anything over 90 days, they can float down. And that means within the last 30 days, right before they close, they can float down if the market's better. It has to move a certain amount, but it, you know, I mean, it's something to look at.
Well, it's the best of both worlds. You lock it in
Absolutely.
at this, but if it does go down, you get an opportunity to float it down.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, guys. Question about having this on, if the resource room is open, because tomorrow is pre-license day, but we could stream that in the resource room in the back. Anybody that wanted to watch it back there at 1 o'clock, we can put it back there. And so that's not a problem.
So I have a question. The tech class is from 11 to 1, but aren't there committees going on during that time as well?
In the conference room.
Are we able to move that earlier in the day, like at 9 or something? to-
Move what?
Yeah, I don't think, no, we had to,
Oh, because it's with someone else.
yeah,
Okay.
it's the whole tech committee, so we all had to, you know what I mean? It had to be available for all of us, so
Yeah.
that's why. But
I
yeah.
know, there's a lot going on. Everybody's gonna have to like pick your station.
On the 15th, we're doing
Yeah.
it too, Judy, we're doing it on the 15th as well.
Okay, so
And it's
that's
gonna
right,
kind
it's
of
the
be like
same thing.
database day, yeah, like everyone's gonna be kind of at
It's a
their own
2-day
pace.
workshop.
Yeah, like cleaning up your contacts, importing your contacts first of all, and
Okay,
then cleaning them up, tagging them, doing smart plans, DTD2, all that. So
Okay.
it's kind of the same, yeah.
So you
So
can
you-
come when
You can come when you can come,
you can come tomorrow.
exactly.
yeah, or
Yeah.
if you're doing the committees,
Yeah, you
come
can
to
come
the
on
class the
15th.
following week.
Next Wednesday.
We'll meet you wherever you're at.
Yep. Kelly's not here. Is Tiffany here? No? Okay. We know all these great people, so we appreciate y'all. For our vendors that are all here in the back, please stand up and say good morning. Look, it's like church, everybody standing. Everybody rise.
You did it.
Turn this way. You're on the right, Rob. Wrong way.
Morning, I'm Jeff Martin, Heaven's Best Carpet Cleaning.
Rob Johnny, Sure Thing Home Inspections.
Good morning, Frank Cooper with Atlanta Property Inspections. We have a great lunch for you today.
Sammy Baker, Contractors Best Solution.
Ryan Roberts, Georgia Pro Inspection Company.
Brian Gilbert, Gwinnett Property Maintenance, your handyman.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. Class is coming up. We've got our Red Day kickoff party at next week from 11:15 to 12. That is going to be our really Claire Dees is coming to share with everybody what Spectrum is, what that looks like, what the needs are. Don't miss anything.
I mean, she's gonna share with you everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
everything. So
Yeah.
it's a packed day of
Packed
everything
day.
that's going on. Yep.
Why did that just pop up? That was weird. We're having a radon CE class with Enzyme on the 16th from 10 to 1. We are now doing mid-month mixers instead of end of the month mixers, because we got so much feedback that end of the month is really hard for people because that's your busiest time. And O'Kelly and Sorahan can also never participate because that's also their busiest time. So we're going to move to mid-month mixer and see how that goes. It'll be at Corkett on the 16th from 5 to 7. The week of the 20th, I am in Austin for a week to hang out with Mark King and Jason and Gary. So I'm super excited. So Bob and David Branton are going to handle the team meeting that Tuesday on the 21st. And Bob is going to teach you how to read a land plat. Because what I've learned is you might think you know how to read a land plat, but are you really sure you know how to read a land plat? So that's what he's going to go over. David Maxey's got a CE license law class. That'll be on the 22nd from 10 to 1. And then on the 28th, we are doing our Care Bears event. All the bears are here in the boxes. We're going to start getting those out and promoting that, but that will be our meeting where we do tie all the bows and bring all your family and friends to all help out with that. So that'll be a fun day. Mortgage Training with Joy. It's on the 14th and the 28th at 12:30 after team meeting for her 101 and mastermind. Kelly's tech training is on the 10th for smart plans, 13th for command setup, and then on the 30th for the MailChimp. And then Paige Powers, who was here last week, as most of you know who she is, she has offered to let us have access to her weekly Zoom call, Power of Focus. It's every Thursday from 1 to 2, and that is the QR code for it. And we'll also share that on our Facebook page that you can log in, and she is invited this whole market center to partake in that for free. That was really nice of her.
Yeah.
Yes, she's a maps coach for anybody that missed her. Was also, for those that don't know, does anybody here not know who she is? She was a previous team leader, is now a maps coach, and is like the OG of team leaders in KW, Atlanta Partners, and is amazing. And just
She
is,
hired Jason, right? She brought Jason in.
yeah, she's the one who hired Jason way back in the day. She is a gem and just a wealth of information. So tune into that. March 7th, which is today, after team meeting, they're gonna do a lunch and learn, hence all the stuff on the desk. So come back and fix your food and come back in for Atlanta property inspections. Career day and night. Career night is the 15th, and that is in person, 6:30 with David. And then I've got career day on the 29th in person at noon. That also is on our Facebook page. So if you guys want to share that and recruit, invite a friend, somebody that you think needs to have a conversation or see what we are all about, please invite them. Red Day, May 11th. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! I know we're gonna start talking about this a lot as we prepare for this, but when Claire comes next week, also, she's gonna share what this is all about for those that don't know, because I don't know that much about it, except for what Thea and Judy have shared with me. So we're really excited. And so again, next week will be our big launch day for that. So this is my video. And last but not least, so Eileen Hill was so gracious. She has had massive success over the last 4 years, right? 4 years?
On door knocking? I guess, yeah.
Mhm.
Good answer, good answer.
6 years. I mean, 6 in business, but I guess I'll talk about it, but it's a long game, you know?
It's a long game, yeah. And
Yeah.
so I know that if you guys just saw on Facebook, she just did one, the donuts and declutter, which several of our vendors here were a part of that. We have some other people that I think are gonna do the same thing. But I feel like is another avenue for those that are struggling with lead generation. That to me is a door knocking is a low cost, can knock out a lot in one fell swoop, and ask Eileen to share that. So come on up and I will give you.
I'm
Your slides are
terrible at PowerPoint, don't judge it.
No, here,
Oh.
there you go. And just do the quick.
And if you were here last year, I did this class too, so a lot of it I'm gonna zoom through and I can send this afterwards. But, so when I go out, keep it short, and then we have lunch and another class. I'm kind of old school, I just, like, I have that, every time you like get ready to go, like, it's kind of like going to work out, like, I don't wanna do it that morning, I'm like, ugh. And then once I like hit the first or second door or talk to somebody, the weather is nice, then I'm like, okay, it's not too bad. So I always say Matthew 7. And that stays on my clipboard with me. So I started door knocking because I got licensed, or I started as a licensed agent in January of 2017. And I signed up for Bold that spring, and I got my first buyer, and they wanted a house. They wanted to be in Swanee, they wanted to be near the town center. And even back then, inventory was really sparse. And so I just started going, I think it was the neighborhood behind Swanee Town Center. And I just started door knocking. I didn't get anything, but I don't think I had anything fancy with me. I just had my business cards and I said, I have a buyer, and it was the truth. So it was easy for me. I was like, I was doing the right thing for my buyer. My buyer wanted to be there. I wanted to close my first transaction. You know, it was like March and I had not, you know, gotten paid. I got licensed in January. So, the other place I started right away fairly soon after was my personal neighborhood. My kids were pretty young then, so they weren't at the point where they could be left at home on their own. I think my daughter, I mean, was getting to where my daughter could be. She might have been in like 3rd grade then or 4th grade. But I could leave them in the neighborhood and go down the street and say, call me if you need anything. And I could go for an hour. I also remember very vividly, my pastor had said in a message, on a Sunday message, he'd said, we're the garage door culture. We go in our garages and the door slams behind us. We don't know our next door neighbor. We don't know what they eat. We don't know what they believe. We don't know anything about them. We don't know their story. And that's the truth. So I feel very strongly like as agents, you know, we're called to be good neighbors. So that was kind of another thing. And I started, and I was new, we had only lived in that neighborhood for a few years. So I would always encourage you to start with your neighborhood. Like you should know your neighbors. And even if there's an agent that dominates your neighborhood, know your street, like know your neighbors. So why it's free? I've never gotten on a dialer. Just didn't seem like me. I'm not very scripted. You'll find out when we go through scripts or dialogues. I don't know why that terrifies me. And then other people say, well, like, you'll go to a front door, but you won't call. Like, I don't know. The whole idea of just, I'm terrified. So I'm sure I'll get over that someday. It helped build my database. The very beginning, I mean, I'll talk about this later. This was for my neighborhood. I like would write the street address and I've kept this notebook now. I mean, now we have them all in command, but you know, 7, 9, 18, you know. So this is how it all started with this little notebook. And I had, if you ever, I don't know if he still gives classes, if you're ever at family reunion, or you can look for him. He's on the When Mate Give podcast, but his name is Todd Hines?
Chad Himes.
Chad Himes. Yes. So he did a class right before he left to go work. He left Atlanta. I don't think he's in Atlanta anymore. And he was building your database. And he was the one that said, take the notebook, put the address at the top, and maybe write a house description on it. So jumping ahead, I guess, here. And we'll talk about this. It can enhance and supplement other lead generation activities. You're doing an open house, well, the Saturday before, or the morning before, go out and door knock and tell the neighbors, you might be expecting a lot of extra cars here. Things like that, the buyer need. And we'll go through some dialogues or conversations you can have. I'm trying to find listings, improving the rate of return on your postcard farming. So my business coach said that if you ever get to, I guess a long time ago, he used to coach Matt Hermes, who dominated Hamilton Mill. And he said what Matt did was so good was he didn't just mail every month or every other week, he went door to door. He had events. He became that really good neighbor. So if you're investing a lot of money in mailing, this is going to help it. And that's in the conversation we can go through. Gain credibility in your community. People, okay, so I'm going to get into this in a minute, but used to people at the door now is exercise. This time of the year, this is what I wear. Wear these ugly black sneakers. They're very comfortable. I got those for mega camp. They're not fancy. They're not like golden gooses or anything like that. I don't want to look too highfalutin, but you want to look not like a hobo. Good call, right? Yes. I don't carry, I don't want to carry, okay, yeah, so, Okay, this is what I thought was interesting. I heard this recently, like, people were used to 30 years ago, the door, not people at your door, like, and then 9/11 came through and people were kind of sketchy about trusting others and, you know, were we safe and what was our community, you know, I don't know. And then, I don't know, you could argue this either way because 2020 comes and people are afraid of germs. And I'm in an area with a lot of people not from Georgia. And they knew about these, like a lot of Koreans are where I live, they knew about COVID long before we did. They were wearing masks in January of 2020, long before we were. So that was kind of hard. But the counter argument to that is people are used to people coming to their doors now because your Amazon boxes, your food, your Costco delivery, everything comes to your door. And this is probably why I've never dialed is I hate spam calls. I don't know. That's what I would wear in the winter. I wear tennis shoes. This is what I would wear at this time of year. I have a red KW jacket. Yeah. Okay. So I take a clipboard, I make my notes here because I would fumble with an iPad or a phone. And then I also feel like, I don't know, I feel like with the phone, they think I'm not paying attention to them. Pens, business cards, we'll talk about this. You want to have with you just like the recent activity for the past year, like on you, because they're going to reference, oh, Jane down the street, she sold her house, blah, blah, blah. You need to be able to like see that and know that because you might not be able to remember it all and look knowledgeable. They will also know about all the ones that sold off the market too. So they do know more than we know in that case. Now, sometimes they think about it and it might be a house that sold 3 years ago and not recently. I've never taken dog treats, but it is an idea I've had. Somebody else said maybe you should do prepackaged dog treats, just like kids with allergies, you know, people might be freaked out about it. Pepper spray, I don't take it with me. I don't go in like areas where I feel unsafe. I always tell people where I'm going. My kids track me like crazy on Life 360. So I know people that do carry a gun. I don't have a gun. I would probably hurt somebody. I usually carry a small. I injured myself with my kids, my soft gun. Like I just soft gun. I should yeah, but I know there are agents that have done it and they carry, I don't know, for safety, I guess. I carry a small tote bag with a bottle of water. And then Adrian was the one that suggested, like, if you're mailing to that neighborhood, it starts the conversation. Oh, you might get my mail. We'll talk about that. Okay, so you want to really take a little bit of time before you randomly, because I did this a few times, like just start door knocking in a community, but like you want to look, is it going to be a place that you're going to go back to? Like for me, it might be this afternoon. The weather's good. I might get an hour in this afternoon. I may not get to go back for another week or two, you know? So I try to focus on places that I can get to quickly in a short period of time. You're going to be a better local expert. Is it owner occupied versus a community of rentals? Because if it's rentals, you're talking to invest, you know, it's investor owned properties. I haven't had luck with those. Age of the community for sure, don't go do it in a new community unless you're getting, I would argue on that, if you're trying to get to know your neighbors, I would, but just know that that's not like low hanging fruit, that's the long game. Like you're building your database with your neighbors, especially if you were one of the first people to get in a new community, you're going to have strong ties with those neighbors. For sure, start nurturing them. Send them Mother's Day cards, send them birthday cards, know your neighbors. Because at some point, they're going to move. You want them to call you. So that would be for the long haul. You feel comfortable or safe. I don't quite know, but you want to research if these numbers are really, it used to be, I think, when you look on like Tom Ferry or sites like that, they're looking for a higher turnover rate. But it hasn't, I haven't found, the neighborhoods I work haven't been that turnover rate. And if it's your neighborhood, you probably don't want a neighborhood that has a really high turnover rate because neighborhood might not be the best neighborhood. I don't know. But the way you find the turnover rate is the number of sales divided by, in a year, the number of homes times 100, you know. So I looked at my neighborhood, it was about 6%. Go back 3 years, look at it. Pour through FMLS sales of a neighborhood, print the quick CMA. I always have that quick CMA on my clipboard with me. Because then I can cross-reference it if they start asking me. You can't remember everything. Check for the off-lit market listings or things that are sold off market. Make sure when you're searching for neighborhoods or just anytime you're searching, you use those asterisks because sometimes people enter neighborhoods like 3 different ways. Call agent to the pendings, be like the knowledge, like they're pending around 550. The neighbors want to know this. So even if you didn't sell that home, go try to find that information out. Now what? You pick a community or area to focus on. What are you going to carry? You're going to carry the market stacks again, the local community, specific buyer need. These are just ideas. Upcoming events you're hosting, tree lightings. In the winter, you could do a live nativity list of the tree lightings. The summer fireworks schedule, farmers market schedule you could do right now. Spring maintenance list. You could, with the spring maintenance list, you could partner with one of the folks in the back and offer like a coupon or a discount. Kay helps me create the flyers in Canva. You always want them to kind of look the same, to be branded. See that there. Okay, Canva. You guys are all familiar with Canva or become friends with it. These are just ones I showed some of this last year, but some of these are older. This one, excuse me, we carried a hand warmer. That was the giveaway with, like, I'll get into this later. I like to give something when I'm there. One of those little hand warmer things was with that. That's very old. I think that's from like 2018 or something, but those were things I did in the beginning. This one I carried a Walmart pie. They make those little pies that are like $1 in the fall. So people, I guess, around the office have heard this story. So I got this listing. It was an open house call respond to every open house call. It was like a $250,000 house, and I got that listing. Long story, but when I got that listing, I door knocked. My coach told me to door knock. I door knocked it, and I got another listing that was even a higher price point than that. It was scary. I carried a really nice cookie.
Don't be bashful. You need to tell them.
Yeah, that was the story.
Tell them the price point.
The other one was like at 1.5. Right.
Yeah.
Right, the story changed. That was the leave behind. So that's a cheap leave behind there, the little hot hand warmer.
Oh, yeah.
She did look like
That would I leave behind. The pie I probably would not leave behind. You can also, I hate to say this, you could research the people, Remind will tell you some of this data. Like the people that have been in the houses the longest, like we need inventory. Those are the people we really should be targeting. It looks like a really nice front door and they look like they keep things up and nice listing to have, maybe leave the pie there, even if you don't talk to them. You could do a local market update in command. This is something we did. Well, this one fell through because my daughter got COVID and I couldn't do it. So I had to cancel this, but I did it during COVID. It was like, how can I have an event for my network, for my clients that was safe and outside? So it was meet me at the market. And I picked a place at the Swanee Farmers Market where they could meet up with me. They came to see me. I had a coupon for coffee and a pastry vendor. But you can also do that for your neighbors. You can also do that in a community near that farmer's market. What you're trying to do is get their information and build a database. So for me, it's easier and I don't feel like a used car salesman if I am giving them something. I'm coming from contribution, and that's a really low cost. And they could scan, and I think, I mean, the way to do that would be, we had really good luck with this last event with the Google. This went to a Google Doc where you get the information. This was really neat. So this we did in the fall. So early October, I door knocked with some with this. And when it's new, so it was new this year, so I didn't have a ton of participants. I think we had like 50 households that participated. That was total of like 600 and something homes. So it's not a lot, but they grow. That's the thing with events. If you keep doing them, they grow and they get used to it and they understand it more the next year. So this like was Trick or Treat for Hunger early in the month. We dropped this off. So we're doing a food drive. We collected food on Halloween. We were so excited. It was a rainy day. Kay and I were on Halloween morning, on Monday morning, and we came up to that house and it was so cool. Like they had put the umbrella out. The seller had done that. And there was their little bag of canned food. So this event was really, I'm definitely going to do this event again because I feel like there are neighbors and communities that aren't connected to their community. And that's a big thing for me with my business is helping people connect in their community. And if they don't have a kid like in school or a church that they're involved with or some type of organization, they want to help, they want to give canned food, they want to help the homeless, whatever, but they don't know how to. So you can be that connection for them. Anybody that participated in this that we didn't know, and that was only a handful, they got an invitation to my pie event in November. And I don't have a lot of people at my pie thing. I mean, it's like 20 people will come get a pie. It's not a ton, but it's a gesture. So that was really neat because there was one guy that we sent the invitation to and he registered for his pie and I had never met him before, but he showed up at the pie thing. To me, it was worth it. It was like one new person, you know. That's the story what Thea was talking about earlier, the lake house story, how I got the second lake house. I got this email. I mean, I still get like goosebumps about the story, but I mean, part of me is like, it's a God thing because it was a very hard time in my life and I didn't know how things were going to work out and how I was going to pay the bills and all that and all came together. But yeah, that was her viburnum. I had taken a picture of it that day. So you have to find things to talk to about people. There was no scripted dialogue with this lady. They were older people and I could tell right away the house was way too much for them and the husband was going downhill with his health. And I could tell dementia was starting to set in. So in my head too, I was like, these people really need help. But then I got this email from them. Okay, Kirk volunteered to be my,
You want a voice actor or
you
character?
can stay right over there.
Character.
Yes, okay, he is the resident. I'm not scripted, and it's like, I get better at this. Okay, so. Knock, knock. And somebody comes.
Who's there?
Hi, I'm Eileen Hill. I'm with Keller Williams. What's your name? Oh, it says Lisa. Hey, Kirk, it's nice to meet you. I'm in the neighborhood because we have a buyer that really wants to be in this community and they've lost out on a few homes and we need to find them a home ASAP. They're having a baby.
Well, we aren't really moving anytime soon.
I totally understand. You probably like living here, right?
Absolutely.
Well, as neighbors, you probably sometimes hear residents preparing to move before we ever will or anyone else. Can you think of anyone that might be moving?
Not right now, but I'll keep your information.
Thank you. I'm not sure. This is an old one, I have to remember. I'm not sure if you've heard, but we have a shortage of homes. There are simply so many more buyers for every house because of the increased demand, prices are up significantly. I was using this last year. I don't know if I would say that this year. Sorry, I should have corrected this.
We aren't going anywhere anytime soon, but thanks for coming by. I've got to get back to work.
Hey, I'd love to keep in touch with you and send you market updates and other helpful home information. And please remember, I'm a great resource for all things home. So maybe you're not looking to move right now, but as an agent, we've got a great trusted vendor network. I can help you find, and I'm not reading this, like I'm just trying to be thorough with you all so you can hear what we say, but I do this kind of off. Make repairs, paint, check your roof, or get gutters clean. What is your phone number and email address?
I'd really rather not share that with you.
Sure, I understand. I promise not to send you junk email and spam. I like to send local information that's really relevant to what's going on. We host great events for the community.
Okay, well, here's my info.
Okay, well, thanks for your email. I'll send you a message to confirm so it doesn't go to spam, and just be on the lookout. We'll be doing an ice cream event in June. It's free. I just need you to register so I can tell Jeremiah how many people to expect.
Thank you. I love ice cream.
Another one.
That wasn't
Okay. This is one I use a lot.
Well done over there.
Okay, here's one I used a lot recently. Knock, knock.
Is this two?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Eileen with Keller Williams Realty. I wanted to introduce myself. Maybe you get these in the mail from me, so you have a name and a face.
Yeah, I have seen those. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. It's a great day to be outside and the flowers are really pretty. I wanted to tell you about an ice cream social I'm hosting down at Jeremiah's down the street. Have you been there? They're new.
I've not been there, but I love ice cream.
Sorry, we did that. It's on June 3rd. What's your name?
My name's Kirk.
So I was just gonna say that I don't always ask their name right away. Like I kind of try to do something to catch them, like talk about the donuts and declutter. I don't know. That's just, it seems like it's worked better that way, that I'm not immediately trying to like find out a lot about them. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Nice to meet you, Kirk. I think I messed up on my notes here. Okay, we'll take a look. So here's information about the ice cream event is on June 3rd. I can text you the information and registration link.
That'd be great.
Okay. I have my phone up. So then I go, oh, what's your number? And this is the key thing I haven't been doing. They don't think about giving their number away at that point. Some do, some are savvier, to people, but some will be like, sure, but you're doing something nice for them. You're inviting them to something. So he gives me a number. Oh, did you get that link?
Yeah, it just came through.
Well, great. That just lets me let Jeremiah's know how many people to expect. Or I did the same script for the donuts and declutter. And then if they didn't want to give me their number, then I said, hey, just scan that QR. If you decide you want to come, can you just scan that QR code? We've got to tell Junk Express how many trucks we need. We have to make a final call on Friday night. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. Registering helps me, and I'd love to keep in touch with you. I promise not to send spam messages. They're relevant to our local community. I just keep stressing I'm local. I want to be a resource to them. We'll do this one more. Sure. Sorry, I didn't move it over. Okay. Knock, knock.
Hello.
Hey, I'm Eileen with Keller Williams. I wanted to introduce myself so you have a name with a face. I'm your neighbor. I live down the street on Red Rock Point. Hopefully you've seen my mailings. What's your name?
I'm Kirk, and yes, I've seen that coming in the mail before,
How long have you been here, Kirk?
about 5 years.
Okay. Well, today I wanted to tell you a little bit of news about the market.
We're not selling.
Sure, I understand. It's a great place to live. Say, you would say, I feel the same way if you live close by. Maybe you know of anybody that's looking to move this spring?
I can't think of anyone, but if I do, I'll call you.
Well, that would be great. I also wanted to just make myself as a resource for all things home in our community. At this time of the year, many residents want to do power washing, paint, and service their HVACs. We keep a list of home resources that I personally use in my own home. This list is constantly vetted and updated.
Yeah, actually, we need to make some repairs to our deck this spring. It's falling apart back there.
So I had this exact one last week. And I was like, oh, I have a few folks I can share with you. Marcus is the first person I can think of. He's helped other neighbors and past clients. I'll share his contact info with you. What's your cell?
678 Fat Boy.
Did you get it?
He likes ice cream.
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Would you like this? I did this one last week. Would you like my full list? It's a longer list of everyone. We've got plumbers, pest control, everything on it.
You have a roofer?
Yes.
You a handyman?
Yes, we've got them all. Yes,
I would
and we
love that.
constantly, if they don't return calls and get back to people, we take them off the list. We are constantly vetting that list. I always tell them that. So, he goes, well, oh no, on this one, this guy told me, another guy told me this one. He said, I get too many emails. It's like a black hole. Haha, I feel the same way sometimes. True. I know. What I can promise you is I send hyper local, interesting events, and we love hosting free events for our community. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Again, we're all about community. I'm here if you need anything. So that's like how it goes. Okay, other stuff is you probably are on camera with Ring a lot. Wave, act confident, smile. There.
Don't make your notes.
Do you have any conversations with Ring? Do they ever speak to you?
Every now and then they'll go, hey, can we help you? And I'm like, I'm Eileen. And I could say the thing about postcards. I'm just here to invite you to this event. I'm gonna leave the information. They usually don't say anything more. So I think it's just important to act confident, like don't run away, like smile, be personable. Like, and then if you ever get, I have had people, well, you know, there's a no soliciting in this neighborhood. I'm like, sir, I'm not soliciting. I'm here to invite you to this. Okay. Of course they can. I've never been, you know, nobody's been. I don't know. It depends on the conversations. Sometimes it's more if nobody answers the door. You want to track, like I usually write what time I leave and how many doors I do. That's what I'm trying to build in my database. Like I thought about doing things like if you love dogs, like you could do something for about a pet. You could eventually, if you know they have a dog, or if you go to the door and the dog barks and they don't even come to the door, I am like noting that that household has a dog. Maybe we could do an event for a dog rescue. Or maybe we could do a postcard with a picture of me and my dogs. We haven't done that. I used to have my dogs on a different one. People are like, and if they come to the door and the dogs are like, I mean, I'm a dog person. They're like taking down the door, ask them their dog's name, ask lots of questions about their dogs. I probably should have that in here because people love to talk about their pets. So when I did this class last year, Adrian and I were talking about it, and he said if somebody was doing door knocking like at a high level, you might want to invest in one of these. What you can do is you can upload, you know, from Georgia MLS, a neighborhood in command. So that's time consuming. So you may want to go out in that neighborhood a few times before you do that. And also you're looking to see if any one agent has kind of dominated that neighborhood. Because it may, I mean, I hate to say, but it may not be worth your time. Now, if that is your neighborhood, you should still know your neighbors. You should still know the surrounding streets. Everybody's in different walks of life. Your kids might be old, their kids might be young. It's just, they may not like that agent, and that's okay. So you can now, with the new command app, you can have, like, so if you get to the point where you have them, the whole neighborhood in your command or whatever your CRM is, you can start pulling it up before you go to the door. Okay, it was Jane. I talked to him last year. This is what they weren't looking to move anytime. They're empty nesters. You can log things like houses with pools. You could log ranches too when you're at houses, because there are always people looking for pools, ranches, like those little houses that they're not in. They're commodity, the word. What if no one is there? Wave the ring camera, leave a flyer tucked in the door. I typically don't leave a gift or treat if no one is there. If you have time, oh, the handwritten note, I shouldn't say leave a handwritten note. I would mail handwritten note the next day if you have time.
You did that with just the ones that you actually talked to, or do?
We definitely do with the people we talk to. We don't do it with the people we don't talk to. We just don't, there's not enough time.
I said it's a lot.
Yeah, but if you're first starting out, it's a numbers game, like maybe it doesn't, maybe do that. You could if you got their number, you should do that. Like that, we should be doing that at open houses too. If you get their number, you should send that message later in the day. Handwritten card, add to database, increase if they might be looking to make a move. You could, I've seen, the big problem I've seen out there is all these empty nesters, they want to go, they are in 4,000 square feet, it's too much house, but where they want to go is almost the same price as what they're going to get for their house. So it's a big problem. So we need to find those solutions. You could start texting that person or communicating them or targeting communities. Like there's one at the top of Swanee Dam Road in Beaufort. It's Lake Crest by Pulte. They're kind of more affordable. Just trying to present them with that information. If you ever see a ranch home, that type of thing. It's a game for a long haul. You know, sometimes you get lucky like I did with that lady in the lake house. Sometimes you might not see anything for a year or two. But if you do put the numbers in, you're going to. I had a listing call in the spring of 2021. I think I sold this house in July. And that was somebody I had door knocked in 2018 and just put on my mailing list. I had not even talked to them for 3 years and they called me. They're your personal community. If an Atlanta Partners agent has a listing discussed before, maybe door knock around that. Maybe door knock after it goes under contract. This many buyers lost out. We're still seeing lots of multiple offers right now. Open house. I just loved her stuff always at the very beginning. She door knocked like over 300 homes a week when she first got into real estate in California. She was the one that said to wear your sneakers, don't wear fancy shoes. She got horrible blisters. Time of day, I mean, don't overthink it.
That's true.
Keep in mind the makeup of the community. The nesters might be out more. Nice wet for sure. Right now, people are outside. They're laying mulch. The kids are outside. They're putting flowers out that are all going to get probably frozen next week. Late afternoons where the weather's nice. I definitely, like in the last few weeks, I door knocked a lot for donuts and declutter. And I got a lot of people opening the door between 4 and 7. You could, if you felt comfortable in a community, if you know a few neighbors maybe that are already at the bus stop, go give them something at the bus stop with a flyer or invite them to your event, or if you're hosting the Cone Ice, be there at the bus stop. Watch out for Karens, smile, be courteous and not too pushy, and you know, there are gonna be, I have friends usually in the neighborhoods I try to door knock in, and I always say to them, I'm like, so have they ever written on the neighborhood Facebook page that I'm like out there, and so I'm always curious. Respect the no, there's a no soliciting sign. I usually will just put something over by the mailbox or leave it on the steps or something. I don't ring the doorbell. That's just probably opening a can of worms. For me, it's just, giving. That's what I try to, I'm coming with something. And then there's your lunch. Used like, this was the trick or treat. I can pass these around if anyone wants to look at them.
Please share with everybody about the flow code, because I was really blown away by that flow code, flowcode.com.
Oh, yeah, I use flow code for the QR code, so it's on all the mailings.
And it's a really user-friendly platform.
Now, on the QR codes, like on your door hanger, does that go to Google Form? They have to fill out like their name and email and phone number?
This one, it did, I think. Usually it's just, the flow code has a lot of
Show us what you're
information.
talking about, which one?
Oh, this one, I think just went to, you could try it to the Google form. But okay, so this is one I'm gonna do this week. I have all of these things from a golf tournament that a past client asked me to help sponsor. I thought they were kind of cool. There's like a tape measure and a level. I don't know what to do with them. People don't pick up free stuff. So when I toured knock this week, he made this. We have to add a little more, but the level best choice. No.
Can I ask about your flow code?
What?
Your flow code. So this is something that's really neat. When you scan that, first of all, it has her branding right in the center of the QR
Yeah,
code
you
right
can
here.
put it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it back up there, because it's
and when you-
really user-friendly.
And when you scan it, it takes to her page. And so it has the event that she's doing now and that she's done in the past, and then some listings. So it's like a.
Is that right there? Right? Are we talking about?
Yeah, and it's credibility. Now, Adrian told me I should be collecting something from them. Because I see all the time, I'm getting hits and people are looking at my social media, but I don't know, I feel like then it just is credibility. But you could do for a free market out analysis of your house, or our complimentary stager listing preparation guide.
Well, and even for that right there, just, if they scan it, then you know who actually you picked up cans from, and then you can give them a thank you, or
Yeah.
just, reach back out to them.
For sure. So everybody
that
that
has your name, your brand on it, yeah.
right, everybody
Yeah, it
that
comes
did that, yes, that, it looks like, I wish we put that up there. Everybody that did the food drive got a handwritten thank you note for giving food. We collected a ton of food at Donuts and Declutter 2 weeks ago. We took a ton of stuff.
How much planning goes into doing that?
Oh, so
Like your
just
little
like-
one you just did?
every event, you want to try to launch it 6 weeks out. So you try to get as many, because if you can do it with your neighborhood farming and door knocking too, you should also invite your family and friends or your past clients. So you want to do a Facebook event page for your sphere. You want to mail to them if you can and afford that. You want to bring it to their front door, you can do a reach text. So there should be a bunch of touches leading up to an event. You should be able to get at least 8 touches if it's done at a high level. I run out of time every time. So
How many people did you invite to the Donuts and Declutter?
we invited, we mailed to 800. That's my sphere and my farm. So my sphere is smaller. But, and we only had 53 people register. But then we only had 37 households come through, but that was typically the husband and the wife came. Jeff has been to it. People like it. They're very grateful for it.
What is the decluttering donuts?
It's just, it started in I did it in 2020, I just got dumpsters. People have stuff they can't take to the curb.
Yeah,
electronics.
mattresses.
Exercise equipment.
Well, we try not to do mattresses. Somebody
Yeah.
Takes up
did
the
rent,
space.
it
Yeah,
takes a lot of space. So I put in it, I don't tell, especially if they're friends of mine, they've been good to me, I'll let them. But we put like what would fit in the back of an SUV.
Yeah.
Cause we did have somebody brought a whole bathroom remodel. They need 2 truckloads and all of their stuff. And I said yes because I didn't know the first year, you know, and that first year, I didn't have sponsors. I put it all on my credit card and trusted like it would all work out. And I knew, and I've always believed that if we give to the community, it will come back to you. But do it systematically, you know, like, we had to order another truck that first year. I didn't have any sponsors. The lender that was with me, she said, I'll help you pay for this truck. She's like, we can't turn people away. That would be embarrassing. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
What I love about this is that it's free. So I think for anybody who, you know, is just getting started, I know we've got some new agents in this market center. But an easy takeaway, especially if you're in your own community, is sharing all of our vendors. So because our goal is to promote our vendors, which are here, that we so love and appreciate for all that they do for us in this
Yes.
market center. So I think that is number one, a win-win, and that's a win-win for everybody. And so I think that's a big takeaway from this. Really quickly, I was trying to finish listening to the Federal Reserve Chair was giving testimony today, if anybody's keeping up with the news, and it was on before, as I was trying to finish it. Yeah, and so all I could get out of it before the team meeting started was, unemployment rate for January was 3.4%. That is the lowest it's been since 1969. That was interesting. The job market is strong. Supply chain and the war in Ukraine are some of the driving factors that have supply chain has let loose a little bit in the bottleneck, but the war obviously still has a lot going on with the prices and inflation. And that was as far as I got. So I wanted to share what I got before I had to come in here to start, but I would encourage everybody, it's on YouTube. I want to go finish listening to it this afternoon to see what else they came out with, talking about, I know the next meeting is March 23rd, talk about a rate increase. Yeah, and so just keeping an eye on that. So just wanted to share that as I'm trying to literally as today, trying to keep up with it. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Eileen, for sharing. Lunch is provided. You gonna come up?
Oh, is it my turn?
It's your turn. We had fast forwarded to show the, there we go. Mr. Frank Cooper.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I thought I'd take a quick minute to talk about new construction inspections and how they differ from regular inspections. Anybody selling new houses here?
I have right now a client that thinks he doesn't.
It doesn't need it?
Yes.
Okay. If you're not selling new construction now, you may be selling a new home in the near future. New home sales are up. Builders are doing pretty well. I think they're going to continue building and developing, so that's good for our area. But actually, new homes, you remember that saying, they don't build them like they used to? You may have heard that. That's usually something an old person would say. Anyway, but that's not true anymore. New construction is way better than houses built in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And one of the reasons, 2 big reasons. One is codes have gotten tougher. Municipal inspections have gotten better. Home inspectors have gotten better. And so everything is kind of contributing to a better build and a better experience. New homes have 2 specific advantages that I want to mention to you. There's a safety factor. They're a lot safer now than they used to be. There's, in particularly electrical issues. The National Electrical Code for the United States has been upgraded in 2015 and 17 to require a lot more stuff than we used to have in the breaker box. It's a lot more GFI outlets, if you know what that is. A lot more AFCI circuit breakers, more smoke detectors, more carbon monoxide detectors. And so that's great. New homes are much safer in that respect. The other big thing about new homes is that they're more energy efficient. And so I guess about 5 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, Georgia started an energy code, which was kind of, a little late to the party because everybody else, all the other states had energy codes. anyway, the Georgia Energy Code started requiring things like sealing up the exterior walls with caulk and foam before you sheetrock the house. They determined that there was a lot of air infiltration occurring at these walls. And so by tightening up that air infiltration, we've made the homes significantly more energy efficient. And you combine that with a new requirement on air conditioners. They've started in 06, they've had several upgrades. Now air conditioners are 40% more efficient than they were just 15, 20 years ago. So that's a big deal. You take the air conditioner, that's the biggest energy user in your house, and you make it high efficiency, all of a sudden your bills are going down. You combine that with better windows and better insulation and better air infiltration sealants and all those things. And all of a sudden, there's a sizable difference in your electric bill for a new home versus a resale home. So those are the two big things that make new homes better. We love inspecting new homes because A, you don't get that many problems, right? It's kind of a nice experience. And we can take that time and devote it to the client and explaining to them why their new home is better. What do they need to know about that new home? What are all that crazy stuff in the breaker box? And all those other things about the code changes on water heaters and HVAC systems and things like that. So it's a great chance to do an orientation and to make people feel good about the house they're buying. So it's a lot of fun. We enjoy that a lot. I got a lot more to talk about. I know I don't have a lot of time now, but we're going to talk after the meeting if you want to come by and talk about new construction or anything else you want to ask about. So thank you for letting us sponsor lunch today. Frank Cooper, Atlanta Property Inspections. We'd love to help you with your next home inspection. And one last thing, we work with Sammy Baker for a free termite inspection on your home inspection. All right. Oh, you're doing that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I've got a drawing somewhere. Gary's hogging my basket. But
I'm filling out all the-
Oh, gosh, all right. While y'all are doing that, I'll do our, are you good?
I'm good. Thank
Okay,
you very
well,
much.
for our on-time drawing, for a QT gift card for $20 from Contractors Best. I'm not. 146.
Woo! There you go.